Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be diving into the life and career of one of the most iconic female singers of all time, Madonna. Madonna Louise Ciccone, born August 16, 1958, is an American singer, songwriter, and actress. Known as the Queen of Pop, Madonna has been widely recognized for her continual reinvention and versatility in music production, songwriting and visual presentation. She has pushed the boundaries of artistic expression in mainstream music while maintaining control over every aspect of her career. Her works, which incorporate social, political, sexual, and religious themes, have generated both controversy and critical acclaim. A prominent cultural figure spanning both the 20th and 21st centuries, Madonna remains one of the most well-documented figures of the modern age, with a broad array of scholarly reviews, literature, and artworks about her, as well as an academic mini-subdiscipline devoted to her called Madonna Studies. Madonna moved to New York City in 1978 to pursue a career in modern dance. After performing as a drummer, guitarist, and vocalist in the rock bands Breakfast Club and Emmy, she rose to solo stardom with her debut studio album, Madonna, 1983. She followed it with a series of successful albums, including all-time bestsellers like A Virgin, 1984, True Blue, 1986, and The Immaculate Collection, 1990, as well as Grammy Award winners Ray of Light, 1998, and Confessions on a Dance Floor, 2005. Throughout her career, Madonna has amassed many chart-topping singles, including Like a Virgin, La Isla Bonita, Like a Prayer, Vogue, Take a Bow, Frozen, Music, Hung Up and 4 Minutes. Madonna's popularity was enhanced by roles in films such as Desperately Seeking Susan, 1985, Dick Tracy, 1990, A League of Their Own, 1992, and Evita, 1996. While the lattermost won her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, many of her other films were not as well received. As a businesswoman, Madonna founded the company Maverick in 1992, which included Maverick Records, one of the most successful artist-run labels in history. Her other ventures include fashion brands, written works, health clubs and filmmaking. She contributes to various charities, having founded the Ray of Light Foundation in 1998 and Raising Malawi in 2006, and she advocates for gender equality and LGBT rights. With sales of over 300 million records worldwide, Madonna is the best-selling female recording artist of all time. She is the most successful solo artist in the history of the US Billboard Hot 100 chart and has achieved the most #1 singles by a woman in Australia, 11, Canada, 24, Italy, 23, Spain, 21, and the UK, 13. One of the highest-grossing touring artists in history, she became the first ever woman to accumulate $1 billion in concert revenue. Forbes has named Madonna the annual top-earning female musician a record 11 times across 4 separate decades, 1980s 2010s. Madonna Louise Ciccone was born on August 16, 1958, in Bay City, Michigan, to Catholic parents Madonna Louise, née Forden, and Silvio Anthony Tony Ciccone. Her father's parents were Italian immigrants from Pacentro while her mother was of French-Canadian descent. Tony Ciccone worked as an optics engineer for Chrysler and General Dynamics on military projects. Since Madonna had the same name as her mother, family members called her Little Nani. Her mother died of breast cancer on December 1, 1963. Madonna later adopted Veronica as a confirmation name when getting confirmed in the Catholic Church in 1966. Madonna was raised in the Detroit suburbs of Pontiac and Avon Township, now Rochester Hills, alongside her 2 older brothers Anthony and Martin, and 3 younger siblings, Paula, Christopher, and Melanie. In 1966, Tony married the family's housekeeper Joan Gustafson. They had 2 children, Jennifer and Mario. Madonna resented her father for getting remarried and began to rebel against him, which strained their relationship for many years afterward. Madonna attended St. Frederick's and St. Andrew's Catholic elementary schools, and West Middle School. She was known for her high grade point average and achieved notoriety for her unconventional behavior. Madonna would perform cartwheels and handstands in the hallways between classes, dangle by her knees from the monkey bars during recess, and pull up her skirt during class, all so that the boys could see her underwear. She later admitted to seeing herself in her youth as a lonely girl who was searching for something. I wasn't rebellious in a certain way. I cared about being good at something. I didn't shave my underarms or legs, and I didn't wear makeup like normal girls do. But I studied and I got good grades. I wanted to be somebody. Madonna's father put her in classical piano lessons, but she later convinced him to allow her to take ballet lessons. Christopher Flynn, her ballet teacher, persuaded her to pursue a career in dance. Madonna later attended Rochester Adams High School and became a straight-A student as well as a member of its cheerleading squad. After graduating in January 1976, she received a dance scholarship to the University of Michigan and studied over the summer at the American Dance Festival in Durham, North Carolina. In 1978, Madonna dropped out of college and relocated to New York City. She said of her move to New York, "It was the first time I'd ever taken a plane, the first time I'd ever gotten a taxi cab. I came here with $35 in my pocket. It was the bravest thing I'd ever done." Madonna soon found an apartment in the Alphabet City neighborhood of the East Village and had little money while working at Dunkin' Donuts and with modern dance troupes, taking classes at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and eventually performing with Pearl Lane Dance Theater. She also studied dance under the tutelage of the noted American dancer and choreographer Martha Graham. Madonna started to work as a backup dancer for other established artists. One night, while returning from rehearsal, a pair of men held her at knife point and forced her to perform fellatio. She later found the incident to be a taste of my weakness. "It showed me that I still could not save myself in spite of all the strong girl show. I could never forget it." In 1979, Madonna became romantically involved with musician Dan Gilroy. Shortly after meeting him, she successfully auditioned to perform in Paris with French disco artist Patrick Hernandez as his backup singer and dancer. During her 3 months with Hernandez's troupe, she also traveled to Tunisia before returning to New York in August 1979. Madonna moved into an abandoned synagogue where Gilroy lived and rehearsed in Corona, Queens. Together they formed her first band, The Breakfast Club, for which Madonna sang and played drums and guitar. While with the band, Madonna briefly worked as a coat check girl at the Russian Tea Room, and she made her acting debut in the low-budget indie film A Certain Sacrifice, which was not released until 1985. In 1980, Madonna left The Breakfast Club with drummer Stephen Bray, who was her boyfriend in Michigan, and they formed the band Emmy and the Emmys. They rekindled their romance and moved into the Music Building in Manhattan. The two began writing songs together and they recorded a 4-song demo tape in November 1980, but soon after, Madonna decided to promote herself as a solo artist. In March 1981, Camille Barbone, who ran Gotham Records in the Music Building, signed Madonna to a contract with Gotham and worked as her manager until February 1982. Madonna frequented nightclubs to get disc jockeys to play her demo. DJ Mark Kammins at Danceteria took an interest in her music and they began dating. Kammins arranged a meeting with Madonna and Seymour Stein, the president of Sire Records, a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Records. Madonna signed a deal for a total of 3 singles, with an option for an album. Kammins produced her debut single, Everybody, which was released in October 1982. In December 1982, Madonna performed the song live for the first time at Danceteria. She made her first television appearance performing Everybody on Dancin' on Air in January 1983. In February 1983, she promoted the single with nightclub performances in the United Kingdom. Her second single, the double A-side Burning Up, Physical Attraction, was released in March 1983. Both this single and Everybody reached number 3 on Billboard magazine's Hot Dance Club Songs chart. During this period, Madonna was in a relationship with artist Jean-Michel Basquiat and living at his loft in Soho. Basquiat introduced her to art curator Diego Cortez, who had managed some punk bands and co-founded the Mud Club. Madonna invited Cortez to be her manager, but he declined. Following the success of the singles, Warner hired Reggie Lucas to produce her debut album, Madonna. However, Madonna was dissatisfied with the completed tracks and disagreed with Lucas' production techniques, so she decided to seek additional help. She asked John Jellybean Benitez, the resident DJ at Fun House, to help finish the album's production, and a romance ensued. Benitez remixed most of the tracks and produced Holiday, which was her first international top 10 song. The album was released in July 1983, and peaked at number 8 on the Billboard 200. It yielded 2 top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, Borderline and Lucky Star. In late 1983, Madonna's new manager, Freddie DeMann, secured a meeting for her with film producer John Peters, who asked her to play the part of a club singer in the romantic drama Vision Quest. In January 1984, Madonna gained more exposure by performing on American Bandstand and Top of the Pops. Her image, performances and music videos influenced many young girls and women. Madonna's style became one of the female fashion trends of the 1980s. Created by stylist and jewelry designer Mara Paul, the look consisted of lace tops, skirts over capri pants, fishnet stockings, jewelry bearing the crucifix, bracelets and bleached hair. Madonna's popularity continued to rise globally with the release of her second studio album, Like a Virgin, in November 1984. It became her first #1 album in Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Spain, the UK and the US. Like a Virgin became the first album by a female to sell over 5 million copies in the US. It was later certified diamond by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, and has sold over 21 million copies worldwide. The album's title track served as its first single, and topped the Hot 100 chart for 6 consecutive weeks. It attracted the attention of conservative organizations who complained that the song and its accompanying video promoted premarital sex and undermined family values, and moralists sought to have the song and video banned. Madonna received huge media coverage for her performance of Like a Virgin at the first 1984 MTV Video Music Awards. Wearing a wedding dress and white gloves, Madonna appeared on stage atop a giant wedding cake and then rolled around suggestively on the floor. MTV retrospectively considered it one of the most iconic pop performances of all time. The second single, Material Girl, reached number 2 on the Hot 100. While filming the single's music video, Madonna started dating actor Sean Penn. They married on her birthday in 1985. Madonna entered mainstream films in February 1985, beginning with her cameo in Vision Quest. The soundtrack contained 2 new singles, her US #1 single, Crazy for You, and another track Gambler. She also played the title role in the 1985 comedy Desperately Seeking Susan, a film which introduced the song Into the Groove, her first #1 single in the UK. Her popularity caused the film to be perceived as a Madonna vehicle, despite how she was not billed as a lead actress. The New York Times film critic Vincent Canby named it one of the 10 best films of 1985. Beginning in April 1985, Madonna embarked on her first concert tour in North America, the Virgin Tour, with the Beastie Boys as her opening act. The tour saw the peak of Madonna wannabe phenomenon, with many female attendees dressing like her. At that time, she released 2 more hits, Angel and Dress You Up, making all 4 singles from the album peak inside the top 5 on the Hot 100 chart. In July, Penthouse and Playboy magazines published a number of nude photos of Madonna, taken when she moonlighted as an art model in 1978. She had posed for the photographs because she needed money at the time, and was paid as little as $25 a session. The publication of the photos caused a media uproar, but Madonna remained unapologetic and defiant. The photographs were ultimately sold for up to $100,000. She referred to these events at the 1985 Outdoor Live Aid charity concert, saying that she would not take her jacket off because, the media, might hold it against me 10 years from now. In June 1986, Madonna released her third studio album, True Blue, which was inspired by and dedicated to her husband. Pennsylvania Rolling Stone was impressed with the effort, writing that the album sounds as if it comes from the heart. 78, 5 singles were released, Live to Tell, Papa Don't Preach, True Blue, Open Your Heart, and La Isla Bonita, all of which reached number 1 in the US or the UK. The album topped the charts in 28 countries worldwide, an unprecedented achievement at the time, and remains Madonna's best-selling studio album, with sales of 25 million copies. True Blue was featured in the 1992 edition of Guinness World Records as the best-selling album by a woman of all time. Madonna starred in the critically panned film Shanghai Surprise in 1986, for which she received her first Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress. She made her theatrical debut in a production of David Robb's Goose and Tom Tom, the film and play both co-starred Pennsylvania the next year. Madonna was featured in the film Who's That Girl? She contributed 4 songs to its soundtrack, including the title track and Causing a Commotion. Madonna embarked on the Who's That Girl World Tour in June 1987, which continued until September. It broke several attendance records, including over 130,000 people in a show near Paris, which was then a record for the highest attended female concert of all time. Later that year, she released a remix album of past hits, You Can Dance, which reached number 14 on the Billboard 200. After a tumultuous 2-year marriage, Madonna filed for divorce from Penn on December 4, 1987, but withdrew the petition a few weeks later. She made her Broadway debut in the production of Speed the Plow at the Royal Theatre from May to August 1988. According to the Associated Press, Madonna filed an assault report against Penn after an alleged incident at their Malibu home during the New Year's weekend. Madonna filed for divorce on January 5, 1989, and the following week she reportedly asked that no criminal charges be pressed. In January 1989, Madonna signed an endorsement deal with soft drink manufacturer Pepsi. In one Pepsi commercial, she debuted Like a Prayer, the lead single and title track from her 4th studio album. The music video featured Catholic symbols such as stigmata and cross burning, and a dream of making love to a saint, leading the Vatican to condemn the video. Religious groups sought to ban the commercial and boycott Pepsi products. Pepsi revoked the commercial and canceled her sponsorship contract. Like a Prayer topped the charts in many countries, becoming her 7th number 1 on the Hot 100. Madonna co-wrote and co-produced the album Like a Prayer with Patrick Leonard, Stephen Bray, and Prince. Music critic J.D. Considine from Rolling Stone praised it as close to art as pop music gets, proof not only that Madonna should be taken seriously as an artist but that hers is one of the most compelling voices of the 80s. Like a Prayer peaked at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and sold 15 million copies worldwide. Other successful singles from the album were Express Yourself and Cherish, which both peaked at number 2 in the US, as well as the UK Top 5 Dear Jessie and the US Top 10 Keep It Together. By the end of the 1980s, Madonna was named as the Artist of the Decade by MTV, Billboard and Musician magazine. Madonna starred as Breathless Mahoney in the film Dick Tracy, 1990, with Warren Beatty playing the title role. The film went to number 1 on the US box office for 2 weeks and Madonna received a Saturn Award nomination for Best Actress. To accompany the film, she released the soundtrack album, I'm Breathless, which included songs inspired by the film's 1930s setting. It also featured the US number 1 song Vogue and Sooner or Later. While shooting the film, Madonna began a relationship with Beatty, which dissolved shortly after the premiere. In April 1990, Madonna began her Blonde Ambition World Tour, which ended in August. Rolling Stone called it an elaborately choreographed, sexually provocative extravaganza and proclaimed it the best tour of 1990. The tour generated strong negative reaction from religious groups for her performance of Like a Virgin, during which 2 male dancers caressed her body before she simulated masturbation. In response, Madonna said, "The tour in no way hurts anybody's sentiments. It's for open minds and gets them to see sexuality in a different way. Their own and others." The live recording of the tour won Madonna her first Grammy Award, in the category of Best Long-Form Music Video. In October 1990, Madonna lent her voice to a public service announcement, PSA, supporting Rock the Vote's efforts in voter registration. The Immaculate Collection, Madonna's first greatest hits compilation album, was released in November 1990. It included 2 new songs, Justify My Love and Rescue Me. The album was certified diamond by RIAA and sold over 30 million copies worldwide, becoming the best-selling compilation album by a solo artist in history. Justify My Love reached number 1 in the US, becoming her 9th number 1 on the Hot 100. Her then-boyfriend model Tony Ward co-starred in the music video, which featured scenes of sadomasochism, bondage, same-sex kissing, and brief nudity. The video was deemed too sexually explicit for MTV and was banned from the network. Her first documentary film, Truth or Dare, known as In Bed with Madonna Outside North America, was released in May 1991. Chronicling her Blonde Ambition World Tour, it became the highest-grossing documentary of all time, surpassed 11 years later by Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine. In 1992, Madonna starred in A League of Their Own as Mae Moore DeBito, a baseball player on an all-women's team. It reached number 1 on the box office and became the 10th highest-grossing film of the year in the US. She recorded the film's theme song, This Used to Be My Playground, which became her 10th number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, the most by any female artist at the time. In April, Madonna founded her own entertainment company, Maverick, consisting of a record company, Maverick Records, a film production company, Maverick Films, and associated music publishing, television broadcasting, book publishing and merchandising divisions. The deal was a joint venture with Time Warner and paid Madonna an advance of $60 million. It gave her 20% royalties from the music proceedings, the highest rate in the industry at the time, equaled only by Michael Jackson's royalty rate established a year earlier with Sony. Her company later went on to become one of the most successful artist-run labels in history, producing multi-platinum artists such as Alanis Morissette and Michelle Branch. Later that year, Madonna co-sponsored the first museum retrospective for her former boyfriend artist Jean-Michel Basquiat at the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York. In October 1992, Madonna simultaneously released her 5th studio album, Erotica, and her coffee table book, Sex. Consisting of sexually provocative and explicit images, photographed by Steven Meisel, the book received strong negative reaction from the media and the general public, but sold 1.5 million copies at $50 each in a matter of days. The widespread backlash overshadowed Erotica, which ended up as her lowest-selling album at the time. Despite positive reviews, it became her first studio album since her debut album not to score any chart topper in the US. The album entered the Billboard 200 at number 2 and yielded the Hot 100 top 10 hits Erotica and Deeper and Deeper. Madonna continued her provocative imagery in the 1993 erotic thriller, Body of Evidence, a film which contains scenes of sadomasochism and bondage. It was poorly received by critics. She also starred in the film Dangerous Game, which was released straight to video in North America. The New York Times described the film as angry and painful, and the pain feels real. In September 1993, Madonna embarked on The Girly Show, in which she dressed as a whip-cracking dominatrix surrounded by topless dancers. In Puerto Rico, she rubbed the island's flag between her legs on stage, resulting in outrage among the audience. In March 1994, she appeared as a guest on The Late Show with David Letterman, using profanity that required censorship on television, and handing Letterman a pair of her panties and asking him to smell it. The releases of her sexually explicit book, album, and film, and the aggressive appearance on Letterman all made critics question Madonna as a sexual renegade. Critics and fans reacted negatively, who commented that she had gone too far and that her career was over. Around this time, Madonna briefly dated rapper Tupac Shakur and basketball player Dennis Rodman. Biographer J. Randy Taraborelli described her ballad I'll Remember, 1994, as an attempt to tone down her provocative image. The song was recorded for Alok Kashishyan's 1994 film With Honors. She made a subdued appearance with Letterman at an awards show and appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno after realizing that she needed to change her musical direction in order to sustain her popularity. With her 6th studio album, Bedtime Stories, 1994, Madonna employed a softer image to try to improve the public perception. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and generated 2 US top 5 hits, Secret and Take a Bow, the latter topping the Hot 100 for 7 weeks, the longest period of any Madonna single. Something to Remember, a collection of ballads, was released in November 1995. The album featured 3 new songs, You'll See, One More Chance, and a cover of Marvin Gaye's I Want You. An enthusiastic collector of modern art, Madonna sponsored the first major retrospective of Tina Modotti's work at the Philadelphia Museum of Art in 1995. The following year, she sponsored an exhibition of Basquiat's paintings at the Serpentine Gallery in London. The following year, she sponsored artist Cindy Sherman's retrospective at the MoMA in New York. In February 1996, Madonna began filming the musical Evita in Argentina. For a long time, Madonna had desired to play Argentine political leader Eva Perón and wrote to director Alan Parker to explain why she would be perfect for the part. After securing the title role, she received vocal coaching and learned about the history of Argentina and Perón. During filming, Madonna became ill several times, after finding out that she was pregnant, and from the intense emotional effort required with the scenes. Upon Evita's release in December 1996, Madonna's performance received praise from film critics. Zach Connor of Time magazine remarked, "It's a relief to say that Evita is pretty damn fine, well cast and handsomely visualized. Madonna once again confounds our expectations." For the role, she won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in Motion Picture Musical or Comedy. The Evita soundtrack, containing songs mostly performed by Madonna, was released as a double album. It included You Must Love Me and Don't Cry for Me Argentina, the latter reached #1 in countries across Europe. Madonna was presented with the Artist Achievement Award by Tony Bennett at the 1996 Billboard Music Awards. On October 14, 1996, she gave birth to Lord Lola Maria Ciccone Leon, her daughter, with fitness trainer Carlos Leon. Biographer Mary Cross writes that although Madonna often worried that her pregnancy would harm Evita, she reached some important personal goals. Now 38 years old, Madonna had at last triumphed on screen and achieved her dream of having a child, both in the same year. She had reached another turning point in her career, reinventing herself and her image with the public. Her relationship with Carlos Leon ended in May 1997 and she declared that they were better off as best friends. After Lourdes' birth, Madonna became involved in Eastern mysticism and Kabbalah, introduced to her by actress Sandra Bernhardt. Her 7th studio album, Ray of Light, 1998, reflected this change in her perception and image. She collaborated with electronica producer William Orbit and wanted to create a sound that could blend dance music with pop and British rock. American music critic Ann Powers explained that what Madonna searched for with Orbit was a kind of a lushness that she wanted for this record. Techno and rave were happening in the 90s and had a lot of different forms. There was very experimental, more hard stuff like Aphex Twin. There was party stuff like Fatboy Slim. That's not what Madonna wanted for this. She wanted something more like a singer-songwriter, really. And William Orbit provided her with that. The album garnered critical acclaim, with Slant magazine calling it one of the great pop masterpieces of the 90s. Ray of Light was honored with 4 Grammy Awards, including Best Pop Album and Best Dance Recording, and was nominated for both Album of the Year and Record of the Year. Rolling Stone listed it among the 500 greatest albums of all time. Commercially, the album peaked at #1 in numerous countries and sold more than 16 million copies worldwide. The album's lead single, Frozen, became Madonna's first single to debut at #1 in the UK, while in the US, it became her 6th #2 single, setting another record for Madonna as the artist with the most #2 hits. The second single, Ray of Light, debuted at #5 on the Billboard Hot 100. The 1998 edition of Guinness Book of World Records documented that no female artist has sold more records than Madonna around the world. Madonna founded Ray of Light Foundation, which focused on women, education, global development and humanitarian. She recorded the single Beautiful Stranger for the 1999 film Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, which earned her a Grammy Award for Best Song Written for a Motion Picture, Television or Other Visual Media. Madonna starred in the 2000 comedy drama film The Next Best Thing, directed by John Schlesinger. The film opened at #2 on the U.S. box office with $5.9 million grossed in its first week, but this quickly diminished. She also contributed 2 songs to the film's soundtrack, a cover of Don McLean's 1971 song American Pie and an original song Time Stood Still. The former became her 9th UK #1 single. Madonna released her 8th studio album, Music, in September 2000. It featured elements from the electronica-inspired Ray of Light era, and like its predecessor, received acclaim from critics. Collaborating with French producer Mirwais Ahmadzai, Madonna commented, "I love to work with the weirdos that no one knows about, the people who have raw talent and who are making music unlike anyone else out there. Music is the future of sound." Stephen Thomas Erlewine from AllMusic felt that music blows by in a kaleidoscopic rush of color, technique, style and substance. It has so many depth and layers that it's easily as self-aware and earnest as Ray of Light. The album took the #1 position in more than 20 countries worldwide and sold 4 million copies in the first 10 days. In the US, Music debuted at the top, and became her first #1 album in 11 years since Like a Prayer. It produced 3 singles, the Hot 100 #1 Music, Don't Tell Me, and What It Feels Like for a Girl. The music video of What It Feels Like for a Girl depicted Madonna committing acts of crime and vandalism, and was banned by MTV and VH1. Madonna met director Guy Ritchie in mid-1998, and gave birth to their son Rocco John Ritchie in Los Angeles on August 11, 2000. Rocco and Madonna suffered complications from the birth due to her experiencing placenta previa. He was christened at Dornoch Cathedral in Dornoch, Scotland, on December 21, 2000. Madonna married Ritchie the following day at nearby Skybo Castle. After an 8-year absence from touring, Madonna started her Drowned World Tour in June 2001. The tour visited cities in the US and Europe and was the highest-grossing concert tour of the year by a solo artist, earning $75 million from 47 sold-out shows. She also released her second greatest hits collection, GHV2, which compiled 15 singles during the second decade of her recording career. The album debuted at #7 on the Billboard 200 and sold 7 million units worldwide. Madonna starred in the film Swept Away, directed by Ritchie. Released direct-to-video in the UK, the film was a commercial and critical failure. In May 2002 she appeared in London in the West End play Up for Grabs at the Wyndham's Theatre, billed as Madonna Ritchie, to universally bad reviews and was described as the evening's biggest disappointment by one. That October, she released Die Another Day, the title song of the James Bond film Die Another Day, in which she also had a cameo role, described by Peter Bradshaw from The Guardian as incredibly wooden. The song reached #8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was nominated for both the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song and a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Original Song. In 2003, Madonna collaborated with fashion photographer Stephen Klein for an exhibition installation named X Static Pro = Say SS, which ran from March to May in New York's Stage Projects Gallery, and also traveled the world in an edited form. The same year, Madonna released her 9th studio album, American Life, which was based on her observations of American society. She explained that the record was like a trip down memory lane, looking back at everything I've accomplished and all the things I once valued and all the things that were important to me. Larry Flick from The Advocate felt that American Life is an album that is among her most adventurous and lyrically intelligent, while also condemning it as a lazy, half-assed effort to sound and take her seriously. The original music video of its title track caused controversy due to its violence and anti-war imagery, and was withdrawn after the 2003 invasion of Iraq started. Madonna voluntarily censored herself for the first time in her career due to the political climate of the country, saying that there was a lynch mob mentality that was going on that wasn't pretty and I have children to protect. The song stalled at #37 on the Hot 100, while the album became her lowest-selling album at that point with 4 million copies worldwide. Madonna gave another provocative performance later that year at the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards, when she kissed singers Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera while singing the track Hollywood. In October 2003, she provided guest vocals on Spears' single Me Against the Music. It was followed with the release of Remixed and Revisited. The EP contained remixed versions of songs from American Life and included Your Honesty, a previously unreleased track from the Bedtime Stories recording sessions. Madonna also signed a contract with Callaway Arts and Entertainment to be the author of 5 children's books. The first of these books, titled The English Roses, was published in September 2003. The story was about 4 English schoolgirls and their envy and jealousy of each other. The book debuted at the top of the New York Times bestseller list, and became the fastest-selling children's picture book of all time. Madonna donated all of its proceeds to a children's charity. The next year Madonna and Maverick sued Warner Music Group and its former parent company Time Warner, claiming that mismanagement of resources and poor bookkeeping had cost the company millions of dollars. In return, Warner filed a countersuit alleging that Maverick had lost tens of millions of dollars on its own. The dispute was resolved when the Maverick shares, owned by Madonna and Ronnie Dashf, were purchased by Warner. Madonna and Dashf's company became a wholly owned subsidiary of Warner Music, but Madonna was still signed to Warner under a separate recording contract. In mid-2004, Madonna embarked on the Reinvention World Tour in the US, Canada and Europe. It became the highest-grossing tour of 2004, earning around $120 million and became the subject of her documentary I'm Going to Tell You a Secret. In November 2004, she was inducted into the UK Music Hall of Fame as one of its 5 founding members, along with the Beatles, Elvis Presley, Bob Marley and U2. Rolling Stone ranked her at number 36 on its special issue of the 100 Greatest Artists of All Time, featuring an article about her written by Britney Spears. In January 2005, Madonna performed a cover version of the John Lennon song Imagine at Tsunami Aid. She also performed at the Live 8 benefit concert in London in July 2005. Her 10th studio album, Confessions on a Dance Floor, was released in November 2005. Musically, the album was structured like a club set composed by a DJ. It was acclaimed by critics, with Keith Caulfield from Billboard commenting that the album was a welcome return to form for the Queen of Pop. The album won a Grammy Award for Best Electronic/Dance Album. Confessions on a Dance Floor and its lead single, Hung Up, went on to reach number 1 in 40 and 41 countries respectively, earning a place in Guinness World Records. The song contained a sample of ABBA's Gimme, 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 A Man After Midnight, only the second time that ABBA has allowed their work to be used. ABBA songwriter Bjorn Ulvaeus remarked it is a wonderful track, 100% solid pop music. Sorry, the second single, became Madonna's 12th number 1 single in the UK. Madonna embarked on the Confessions tour in May 2006, which had a global audience of 1.2 million and grossed over $193.7 million, becoming the highest-grossing tour to that date for a female artist. Madonna used religious symbols, such as the crucifix and crown of thorns, in the performance of Life to Tell. It caused the Russian Orthodox Church and the Federation of Jewish Communities of Russia to urge all their members to boycott her concert. At the same time, the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, IFBI, announced officially that Madonna had sold over 200 million copies of her albums alone worldwide. While on tour, Madonna founded the charitable organization Raising Malawi, and partially funded an orphanage in traveling to that country. While there, she decided to adopt a boy named David Bonda in October 2006. The adoption raised strong public reaction, because Malawian law requires would-be parents to reside in Malawi for 1 year before adopting, which Madonna did not do. She addressed this on The Oprah Winfrey Show, saying that there were no written adoption laws in Malawi that regulated foreign adoption. Madonna described how Bonda had been suffering from pneumonia after surviving malaria and tuberculosis when they first met. Madonna released and performed the song Hey You at the London Live Earth concert in July 2007. She announced her departure from Warner Bros. Records, and declared a new $120 million, 10-year $360 deal with Live Nation. In 2008, Madonna produced and wrote I Am Because We Are, a documentary on the problems faced by Malawians. It was directed by Nathan Rissman, who worked as Madonna's gardener. She also directed her first film, Filth and Wisdom. The plot of the film revolved around three friends and their aspirations. The Times said she had done herself proud, while the Daily Telegraph described the film as not an entirely unpromising first effort, but Madonna would do well to hang on to her day job. On March 10, 2008, Madonna was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in her first year of eligibility. She did not sing at the ceremony but asked fellow Hall of Fame inductees and Michigan natives the Stooges to perform her songs Burning Up and Ray of Light. Madonna released her 11th studio album, Hard Candy, in April 2008. Containing R&B and urban pop influences, the songs on Hard Candy were autobiographical in nature and saw Madonna collaborating with Justin Timberlake, Timbaland, Pharrell Williams and Nate Danja Hills. The album debuted at number 1 in 37 countries and on the Billboard 200. Karen Gans from Rolling Stone complimented it as an impressive taste of her upcoming tour, while BBC correspondent Mark Savage panned it as an attempt to harness the urban market. 4 Minutes was released as the album's lead single and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was Madonna's 37th top 10 hit on the chart and pushed her past Elvis Presley as the artist with the most top 10 hits. In the UK, she retained her record for the most number 1 singles for a female artist, 4 Minutes becoming her 13th. At the 23rd Japan Gold Disc Awards, Madonna received her 5th Artist of the Year trophy from Recording Industry Association of Japan, the most for any artist. To further promote the album, she embarked on the Sticky and Sweet Tour, her first major venture with Live Nation. With a total gross of $408 million, it ended up as the second highest grossing tour of all time, behind the Rolling Stones' A Bigger Bang tour. It remained the highest grossing tour by a solo artist until Roger Waters' The Wall Live surpassed it in 2013. In July 2008, Christopher Ciccone released a book titled Life with My Sister Madonna, which caused a rift between Madonna and him, because of unsolicited publication. By fall, Madonna filed for divorce from Richie, citing irreconcilable differences. In December 2008, Madonna's spokesperson announced that Madonna had agreed to a divorce settlement with Richie, the terms of which granted him between £50 to $60 million, $68.49 to $82.19 million, a figure that included the couple's London pub and residence and Wiltshire estate in England. The marriage was dissolved by District Judge Reed by decree nisi at the Clinical Principal Registry of the Family Division in High Holborn, London. They entered a compromise agreement for Rocco and David, then aged 8 and 3 respectively, and divided the children's time between Richie's London home and Madonna's in New York, where the two were joined by Lord. Soon after, Madonna applied to adopt Chifundo Mercy James from Malawi in May 2009. But the country's High Court rejected the application because Madonna was not a resident there. She reappealed, and on June 12, 2009, the Supreme Court of Malawi granted her the right to adopt Mercy. Madonna concluded her contract with Warner by releasing her third greatest hits album, Celebration, in September 2009. It contained the new songs Celebration and Revolver along with 34 hits spanning her musical career with the label. Celebration reached number 1 in several countries, including Canada, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom. She appeared at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards to speak in tribute to deceased pop singer Michael Jackson. Madonna ended the 2000s as the best-selling single artist of the decade in the US and the most played artist of the decade in the UK. Billboard also announced her as the third top touring artist of the decade, behind only the Rolling Stones and U2. With a gross of over $801 million, 6.3 million attendance and 244 sellouts of 248 shows. Madonna performed at the Hope for Haiti Now, a global benefit for earthquake relief concert in January 2010. Her third live album, Sticky and Sweet Tour, was released in April, debuting at number 10 on the Billboard 200. It also became her 20th top 10 on the Oricon Albums chart, breaking the Beatles' record for the most top 10 album by an international act in Japan. Madonna granted American television show, Glee, the rights to her entire catalog of music, and the producers created an episode featuring her songs exclusively. She also collaborated with Lorde and released the Material Girl clothing line, inspired by her punk girl style when she rose to fame in the 1980s. In October, She opened a series of fitness centers around the world named Hard Candy Fitness, and 3 months later unveiled a second fashion brand called Truth or Dare, which included footwear, perfumes, underclothing, and accessories. Madonna directed her second feature film, W.E., a biographical account about the affair between King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson. Co-written with Alec Kishishian, the film was premiered at the 68th Venice International Film Festival in September 2011. Critical and commercial response to the film was negative. Madonna contributed the ballad masterpiece for the film's soundtrack, which won her a Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. In February 2012, Madonna headlined the Super Bowl 46 halftime show at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Her performance was visualized by Cirque du Soleil and Jamie King, and featured special guests LMFAO, Nicki Minaj, MIA and CeeLo Green. It became the then most watched Super Bowl halftime show in history with 114 million viewers, higher than the game itself. During the event, she performed Give Me All Your Lovin', the lead single from her 12th studio album, MDNA. It became her record-extending 38th top 10 single on the Billboard Hot 100. MDNA was released in March 2012 and saw collaboration with various producers, including William Orbit and Martin Solveig. It was her first release under her 3-album deal with Interscope Records, which she signed as a part of her 360 deal with Live Nation. She was signed to the record label since Live Nation was unable to distribute music recordings. MDNA became Madonna's 5th consecutive studio record to debut at the top of the Billboard 200. The album was mostly promoted by the MDNA Tour, which lasted from May to December 2012. The tour featured controversial subjects such as violence, firearms, human rights, nudity and politics. With a gross of $305.2 million from 88 sold-out shows, it became the highest-grossing tour of 2012 and then 10th highest-grossing tour of all time. Madonna was named the top-earning celebrity of the year by Forbes, earning an estimated $125 million. Madonna collaborated with Stephen Klein and directed a 17-minute film, Secret Project Revolution, which was released on BitTorrent in September 2013. With the film she launched the Art for Freedom initiative, which helped to promote art and free speech as a means to address persecution and injustice across the globe. The website for the project included over 3,000 art-related submissions since its inception, with Madonna regularly monitoring and enlisting other artists like David Blaine and Katy Perry as guest curators. By 2013, Madonna's Raising Malawi had built 10 schools to educate 4,000 children in Malawi at a value of $400,000. When Madonna visited the schools in April 2013, President of Malawi Joyce Banda accused her of exaggerating the charity's contribution. Madonna was saddened by Banda's statement, but clarified that she had no intention of being distracted by these ridiculous allegations. It was later confirmed that Banda had not approved the statement released by her press team. Madonna also visited her hometown Detroit during May 2014, and donated funds to help with the city's bankruptcy. The same year, her business ventures extended to skincare products with the launch of MDNA Skin in Tokyo, Japan. Madonna's 13th studio album, Rebel Heart, was released in March 2015, 3 months after its 13 demos leaked onto the internet. Unlike her previous efforts, which involved only a few people, Madonna worked with a large number of collaborators, including Avicii, Diplo, and Kanye West. Introspection was listed as one of the foundational themes prevalent on the record, along with genuine statements of personal and careerist reflection. Madonna explained to John Pareles of The New York Times that, although she has never looked back at her past endeavors, reminiscing about it felt right for Rebel Heart. Music critics responded positively towards the album, calling it her best effort in a decade. From September 2015 to March 2016, Madonna embarked on the Rebel Heart Tour to promote the album. The tour traveled throughout North America, Europe and Asia and was Madonna's first visit to Australia in 23 years, where she also performed a one-off show for her fans. The Rebel Heart Tour grossed a total of $169.8 million from the 82 shows, with over 1.045 million ticket sales. While on tour, Madonna became engaged in a legal battle with Richie, over the custody of their son Rocco. The dispute started when Rocco decided to continue living in England with Richie when the tour had visited there, while Madonna wanted him to travel with her. Court hearings took place in both New York and London. After multiple deliberations, Madonna withdrew her application for custody and decided to resolve the matter privately. In October 2016, Billboard named Madonna its Woman of the Year. Her blunt and brutally honest speech about ageism and sexism at the ceremony received widespread coverage in the media. The next month, Madonna, who actively supported Hillary Clinton during the 2016 U.S. presidential election, performed an impromptu acoustic concert at Washington Square Park in support of Clinton's campaign. Upset that Donald Trump won the election, Madonna spoke out against him at the Women's March on Washington, a day after his inauguration. She sparked controversy when she said that she thought a lot about blowing up the White House. The following day, Madonna asserted she was not a violent person and that her words had been taken wildly out of context. In February 2017, Madonna adopted 4-year-old twin sisters from Malawi named Esther and Stella, and she moved to live in Lisbon, Portugal, in mid-2017 with her adoptive children. In July, she opened the Mercy James Institute for Pediatric Surgery and Intensive Care in Malawi, a children's hospital built by her Raising Malawi charity. The live album chronicling the Rebel Heart tour was released in September 2017, and won Best Music Video for Western Artists at the 32nd Japan Gold Disc Award. That month, Madonna launched MDNA Skin in select stores in the United States. A few months earlier, the auction house Gotta Have Rock and Roll had put up Madonna's personal items like love letters from Tupac Shakur, cassettes, underwear and a hairbrush for sale. Darlene Lutz, an art dealer who had initiated the auction, was sued by Madonna's representatives to stop the proceedings. Madonna clarified that her celebrity status does not obviate my right to maintain my privacy, including with regard to highly personal items. Madonna lost the case and the presiding judge ruled in favor of Lutz, who was able to prove that in 2004 Madonna made a legal agreement with her for selling the items. While living in Lisbon, Madonna met Dino Santiago, who introduced her to many local musicians playing fado, morna and samba music. They regularly invited her to their living room sessions, thus she was inspired to make her 14th studio album, Madame X. Madonna produced the album with several musicians, primarily her longtime collaborator Mir Wes and Mike Dean. The album was critically well received, with NME deeming it bold, bizarre, self-referential and unlike anything Madonna has ever done before. Released in June 2019, Madame X debuted atop the Billboard 200, becoming her 9th #1 album there. All 4 of its singles, Medellin, Crave, I Rise and I Don't Search I Find topped the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart, extending her record for most #1 entries on the chart. Previous month, Madonna appeared as the interval act at the Eurovision Song Contest 2019 and performed Like a Prayer, and then Future with rapper Quavo. Her Madame X tour, an all-theater tour in select cities across North America and Europe, began on September 17, 2019. In addition to much smaller venues compared to her previous tours, she implemented a no-phone policy in order to maximize the intimacy of the concert. According to Pollstar, the tour earned $51.4 million in ticket sales. That December, Madonna started dating Ala Malik Williams, a dancer who began accompanying her on the Rebel Heart tour in 2015. However, the Madame X tour faced several cancellations due to her recurring knee injury, and eventually ended abruptly on March 8, 2020, 3 days before its planned final date, after the French government banned gatherings of more than 1,000 people due to COVID-19 pandemic. She later revealed she had tested positive for coronavirus antibodies. In April 2020, Madonna announced her financial support for the COVID-19 Therapeutics Accelerator led by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Wellcome Trust, and MasterCard, and donated an additional $1 million to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to help fund research creating a new vaccine. Madonna and Missy Elliott provided guest vocals on Dua Lipa's single Levitating, from Lipa's 2020 remix album Club Future Nostalgia. She also started work on a film biopic about her life, which she intended to direct. Aaron Cressida Wilson and Diablo Cody worked on the script at various points, and Julia Garner was cast as Madonna before the project was postponed. Madonna released Madam X, a documentary film chronicling the tour of the same name, on Paramount Plus in October 2021. On her 63rd birthday, she officially announced her return to Warner in a global partnership which grants the label her entire recorded music catalog, including the last 3 albums released under Interscope. Under the contract, Madonna launched a series of catalog reissues beginning in 2022, to commemorate the 40th anniversary of her recording career. A remix album titled Finally Enough Love, 50 number ones was released on August 19, with an 16-track abridged edition being available for streaming since June 24. Consisting of her 50 number one songs on Billboard's Dance Club Songs chart, the remix album highlighted how meaningful dance music has always been to Madonna's career, and became her 23rd top 10 album on the Billboard 200. In September 2022, Madonna released Hung Up on Tokischa, a remix of Hung Up, featuring rapper Tokischa. The song utilizes demo. On December 29, 2022, Madonna released the demo version of Back That Up to the Beat to all digital outlets. The song was originally recorded in 2015 sessions, with an alternative version being released on the deluxe 2-CD version of her 2019 Madam X album. In January 2023, Madonna announced the Celebration Tour, her first greatest hits concert tour, which will run from July 2023 to January 2024 with special guest Bob the Drag Queen. The following March, it was announced that she would collaborate on 3 songs of the Christine and the Queen's album Paranoia, Angels, True Love. On June 2, 2023, Madonna collaborated with The Weeknd and Playboi Carti on the single Popular, which was taken from the soundtrack to the drama series The Idol. On June 24, 2023, Madonna was hospitalized after being found unresponsive in her New York City apartment. She was treated in the intensive care unit and was intubated. Madonna spent 5 days in the hospital to receive treatment for a serious bacterial infection following a low-grade fever. As a result, the initial North American leg of her Celebration Tour was postponed. On September 12, 2023, the commercial Madonna made in collaboration with Pepsi in 1989 aired during the commercial break of the 2023 MTV Video Music Awards. Madonna's net worth is estimated between $590 million to $800 million. Forbes has named her the annual top-earning female musician 11 times across the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, and 2010s. She has sold over 300 million records worldwide. The Guinness World Records acknowledged her as the best-selling female music artist of all time. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, she is the best-selling female rock artist of the 20th century and the third highest certified female albums artist in the United States, with 65.5 million certified album units. She has the most RIAA multi-platinum albums by a female artist, with 12 releases, tying with Barbra Streisand. Madonna had generated over $1.5 billion from ticket sales of her concert tours throughout her career. According to Billboard Box Score, she is the highest-grossing female touring artist of all time, grossing over $1.376 billion between 1990 and 2020. Madonna also remains the only woman in history to have 2 solo concerts with 100,000 sold tickets. Her Who's That Girl World Tour's concert in Parc des Sceaux, Paris, drew over 130,000 audience, while her Girly Show's concert in Maracanã Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, drew over 120,000 audience. She has also won 7 Grammy Awards and 20 MTV Video Music Awards, including the 1986 Video Vanguard Award, for which she became the first female recipient. According to Billboard, Madonna is the most successful solo artist in the Hot 100 chart history, second overall behind the Beatles, and the most successful dance club artist of all time. With a total of 50 dance club songs chart toppers, Madonna became the artist with the most number ones on any singular Billboard chart, pulling ahead of George Strait with 44 number one songs on the Hot Country Songs chart. She has also scored 38 top 10 singles on the Hot 100, She held the record among all artists for nearly 2 decades, between 2002 and 2020, before being overtaken by Drake and by Taylor Swift in 2022 among females. Internationally, Madonna holds the record for the most #1 singles by a female artist in Australia, 11, Canada, 24, Italy, 23, Finland, 7, Spain, 21, and the United Kingdom, 13. At the 40th anniversary of the GFK Media Control charts, Madonna was ranked as the most successful singles artist in German chart history. Thank you for watching this till the end, and please subscribe to my channel, like and comment below your thought. Hit the notification button for more inspiring content to come. Bye bye.